Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk About Fixed Stars. And today we are going to talk about a interesting fixed star, which not many people know about it, but I love it so much because it related to me a lot. So, hi, Christian. I forgot to introduce. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Rod. Hi, everyone.
So, Christian, what fixed star are we going to talk about today?
It's Deneb Algedi and Capricornus.
Then the Algedi and the Capricorn, which is very interesting because there are two star. The name usually is similar, and I usually make a huge mistake. So even today, before I started, I was like wondering which one we're going to talk. I hope I didn't prepare another one. The another one is Deneb Algedi. So
Yes.
there is a A, there's a D, there's a G, but you just like what's the difference? But they are very, very different. So today we will focus on the Deneb Algedi and the star in the Capricorn, right?
Yes.
Okay, so should I start?
Please start. I'm
Okay.
very thrilled, as always, what you have to say about the Chinese myth and mythology and this Chinese.
That we're waiting for after your explanation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I will start with some basic information. Basic information. First, I have declared this is not my photo. This is a photo from the photo resource website, which they own the copyright, but I have a right to use it. But because usually Christian will say, "Wow, you take beautiful photo." No, I don't have this label yet. Soon, I promise, very soon I can do the things like this.
But it's beautiful for Capricorn, as you
Uh,
said before. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like a mountain, Milky Way. And I have to tell you, I can tell you where is Capricorn. Yeah.
Great. Yes.
Okay, let's go to the Deneb Algedi. So it is a Delta Capricorn and in the constellation of Capricorn, but it's a bit dim compared with all the other, especially in front of Capricorn constellation is Milky Way. So a dim star in this part of sky, well, was still worth to watch. And then it's meant to only plus 2.8. We know the number is higher, the star is dimmer. So remember, this is a dim star. You probably can see it in countryside. Okay, astrologer always ask where it is on the zodiac. Yeah, this is quite important for us, especially for astrologer. So the celestial longitude for year 2022, I have to say, if you use the fixed star in this method, please align with the right degree. Don't use 2000. Don't use year 2000 degree, and please don't use year 1900 degree, because some people still use the degree to 120 years ago. I just like because in this method, you probably only allowed to give 1 degree off. But if you use the degree of 120 years ago, you are offline, you are really off. Okay. So the degree of year 2022 is 23 degree Aquarius 52. If you were born around the 1980s, it's 23 degree 15. If you are born in 1960s, then that degree is 22 degree 59. As I love the astronomy, I like to tell you how to find this star. Well, at this moment, if you're going out tonight, well, you probably can see it, okay, in the early night. So when you see the Milky Way, if you're lucky, if you are in the nice area with low pollution, you will see the Milky Way. Okay, then the few star right behind the Milky Way is the Sagittarius, and then you will see the Capricorn. It's like a triangle. Very easy to recognize. Very easy to recognize. You can recognize the Capricorn's horn, you can recognize Capricorn's tail. Especially now, you will see a dim star. That's Saturn. Yes, Saturn is around this area, not arrive the Deneb Algedi yet, but soon it will. Very close to that, and we can expecting something interesting happen in the mundane astrology. That's my forecasting when the Saturn come to here, because it's a Saturn style, and with the Saturn style star, with Saturn and the Saturn quality star. Okay, so here is Capricorn. Here's Capricorn, and right above Aquarius, and below it is the Pisces Austrinus, and then this star is very famous, Fomalhaut, right? The very famous one. And today I will talk about these areas in what they present in the Chinese astrology and the ancient Chinese astronomy. But first, we have to quick check because I love them. I love them so much because it always confuse you and make you ask why or W T F. Okay, this is a Robertson. I only find Robertson. There's other astrologer mentioned about, but Robertson's comment is very interesting. First, he gives us a very useful information. Yes, very useful. If you want to use it, is according to Ptolemy. This star has nature of Saturn and Jupiter. Very important. You have to learn how to explain when Saturn and Jupiter together. What does that mean? Okay, maybe make things happen or thinking in a realistic way, or make your idea become true, become a reality. Maybe that's a Saturn and the Jupiter. There's a lot of a star with Saturn Jupiter nature, and you can explain in this way. But more important, this is the point that it is said to cause beneficence and destructiveness. Okay, interesting. Good and destructive. Sorrow and happiness. Life and death. Christian, I really need your help. Maybe you can understand what Robertson says.
Sorrow and happiness, life and death. So with a lot of fantasy and imagination, probably he could mean kind of liminal space, going from the one thing to the other, like life and death, this threshold corner or whatever. I don't know actually.
Neither, but it's very difficult to explain. However, interesting. I always big fan of Menelaus. He inspired me so much, and I love it because it's simple. He just talk about constellation, and I think that could be the basic line to interpret the star and the constellation. Well, as this translation is in ancient language, so ancient English, so even for me, it's difficult to read it. Yeah, even read it. So I summarize it. Basically, Menelaus told us all the star in the Capricorn are related to goddess Vesta, Greek goddess, the goddess of fire, goddess of the kitchen, and then goddess of shine. And so Capricorn are related to fire. Any work related to fire include the like a baking, cooking food, or the metalworking. So like goldsmiths or blacksmiths, they are all related to this constellation, and they even able to do the mining to find where is gold and silver and make them a beautiful precious metal. So you can work with precious metal, you can work with a blacksmith, and interesting what they describe the half part of gold. So they say what he says the first part of this constellation are slaves of Venus. Interesting. Either mean they are dedicated to love or whatever, or maybe materializing, maybe. But he also say the second part of the fishtail bring the good fortune. That was quite interesting of view. But I think I prefer this interpretation more than Robson. Good and bad. Maybe because it's a goat and fish. Maybe he come from this beach. Maybe now probably I understand. But I'm more curious about what Christian going to tell us.
Okay, once again, this screen sharing thing. Start the presentation. And Rod said a lot about the astronomy of Deneb Algedi, and it's a multiple star system. And as Rod said, it is located in the fishtail of Capricornus. And probably Capricornus is one of the oldest constellation, despite its relatively faint stars, as you said, especially Deneb Algedi. And since the Middle Bronze Age, this constellation has been depicted as a hybrid of a goat and a fish. And the name means tail of the goat. So Deneb always means this star is in the tail of whatever. You mentioned Deneb Algedi, of course, that's in the tail of the swan, and Deneb Algedi, it's in the fishtail of the goat. So the goatfish unites earth, that's the goat part, and water, that's the fishtail. So we have matter and emotions. And the goatfish, when you look into the mythology, is Ea's, or was Ea's pet. And the Babylonian god Ea is the god of the primordial sea upon which the world floats. So Ea is the father of Marduk, and he was one of the most philanthropic gods of the Babylonians, and among other things, responsible for the creation of man and their protector. And Ea taught them the crafts, art, and science, and Ea lived in the waters of the world, so a vast ocean beneath the surface of the earth, from where all springs and rivers were fed. And goat skins were worn at his festivals dating back to 15,000 BCE. And Ea was ordered by his brothers to kill his parents, who wanted to eliminate mankind, and he castrated his father Apsu, severed his tendons, and sealed the flesh in an earth prism. And Ea then became the ruler of the earth, and which he administrated from his underwater kingdom. The myth tells how humans abandoned Ea, and he was overthrown by his brother Baal. And dissatisfied with humanity, Baal sent a great flood to wipe them out and established a new world order. And Ea saved mankind by asking Noah's Babylonian, but much, much older equivalent Utnapishtim to build an ark. Of course, we all know this story from the Bible. But it's much older. It's a Babylonian story, actually, and it has to do with Ea. And Deneb Algedi, here he is. Symbolism also has much to do with Oannes, and that's Oannes. And according to the Babylonian priest Berossus in the 3rd century BCE, Oannes is an amphibious creature who had the shape of a fish, and under his fish had the head of a man, and under his fishtail, the feet of a man. And Oannes was also a good and wise bringer of culture, and he also lived in the sea, rose out of the sea in the mornings on the coast of the Persian Gulf, and he brought laws, civilized coexistence, order, religion, science to the people. And in the evenings, he returned to the sea. So astrologically speaking, the essence of Deneb Algedi is its wisdom and authority that reveals hidden truth. And according to Bernadette Brady, this star has to do with the laws, the cosmic order, and with justice. So the laws of the community and the structure of civilization. And Deneb Algedi wants to ensure that order is maintained and preserved. So it really brings civilization, discipline, and has a stabilizing and maybe conservative character. And yet Deneb Algedi is philanthropic like Oannes and Ea. It focuses on what will be considered by the community as the best for the individual. And the stars always tries to give his best too, not only for himself, but also for the community. And Deneb Algedi wants to understand how the world functions, and it wants to reach a cosmological view of life, and wants to understand the complex structures of relations. So I think this star is really curious about people, or curious about the material world, for example, chemistry or physics, or curious about cosmological questions and the hidden facets of life. And as always, every light has its shadow. The shadow side is the role of the scapegoat. So the leadership qualities, the authority, and the gift of gaining insights and knowledge can be interpreted as manipulative in the eyes of others, maybe. So this is the shadow side of the star.
Wow. Fantastic. I love it so much. Thank you, Christian. Why are you talking about it? I mean, the before all my knowledge or what I can remember was about the leadership and try to remember those leadership and kind of, material world things. But I think I forget one key word, the structure. The structure,
Yes,
especially the formalism. And then when I saw your picture, there is the like what Fibonacci, the golden
yes,
number, and
yes,
the Kabbalah. And I think yes, that's the thing, the structure and how we measure the world is
yes,
also related
yes,
to this star and this constellation, which is suddenly I get a lot of inspiring and I love it. Thank you so much. Well, so it's my turn to bring
yes.
something different. Okay, for make Christian happy, I will talk about the Chinese bit first. But to be honest, I feel a little bit boring, to be honest.
Okay.
But no, it's not boring because this area of sky, because ancient Chinese doesn't really pay lots of attention in the southern part of the sky because most of them they couldn't see, so they don't really pay a lot of attention. But this part, the most of it, and I have to say, because it's a service for kingdom, service for emperor, so most of the things they care about is a kingdom going to have a dangerous or not. So most of it that are related to war, maybe like 99% of star are related to war. So sometimes I think it's boring. Okay, but Deneb Algedi is Chinese name called Lei Bi Zhen Si. That means the fourth star of the fortification, the front line, the building on the front line, like a barricade, like those those ditch or those a building to prepare the war to fight. And so this part of sky in the Chinese view are the frontier of the country. So here, this line is the frontier. You can see this line. I will show you later. And this line is around Capricorn here, Aquarius here, and then Pisces here. And then so this line is the fortification. And then in front of that, there's small group of stars. This include the lake or water flow of the Aquarius and the few stars in the around the Pisces. These are the guard or military. So let me show you. Here we are. So you can see this triangle. This is a Capricorn, and the tail of Capricorn is the 1, 2, 3, 4, four stars of the this fortification are belong to tail of Capricorn, and then we got the lake of Aquarius. Here is Aquarius, the hand and the Sadama Lake, Sadasu, and then you get a water barrel and the water coming down. All this area, so this line, it's very close to ecliptic. Have you noticed? It's very close to the ecliptic. I like it. And then you got fish head here, the Pisces fish head here. But the bottom, the lower part of Pisces, those stars are also belong to this fortification. And then here is the army or guard. I should translate it to guard rather than army. Yeah. So this is the meaning of it is kind of defense meaning, defense and the structure. Another structure meaning, but it's a building and a structure meaning to defend, to protect. Yeah, and I like what I just do a quick study, and I find a very interesting character related to the Deneb Algedi, which also a very famous character in politics in South America, in Latin America, also in the culture-wise, which is Eva Peron. Well, I think if you don't know who is Eva Peron, you probably hear about Madonna's music or the Broadway music. I think Christian can know it very well.
Andrew Weber.
Are you going to sing for us?
You won't like that.
Oh, I think our audience will love it. Okay, Evita. Okay, I love this character, and well, the music is very beautiful anyway. But the real character of Eva Peron, she was the first lady of Argentina around between the 1946 until the 1952, when she died in cancer. She was a very powerful woman. She was an actress and activist, and also she kind of gave people a kind of a kind of a leader of the poor people, and she can draw their attention. She kind of that I'm like you, I'm with you. So she helped the Juan Perón to earn a lot of the support for him, and then but unfortunately she died in 1952. But the things make her so famous is not only her political career and her performing career, but also with this musical about Evita, and that she has. What I'm going to show you is she has the sun Peron with the Deneb Algedi. I think I'm quite happy to show you what does that mean, okay? And that would be help people to understand what we're talking about. Let me stop share and change the things. Use Benedict Bradley software. Now we can see this is the day she born, the sky, when she was born, this part of sky. And then this is the time she was born in 5 o'clock. So, sun still on the horizon. So what does that mean? Her sun is here with Mars conjunction, and then the Deneb Algedi is here. It's not far from the MC. People were confused about MC and comating, but today that is possible because it's near the zodiac, near the ecliptic. So what does that mean is if I move the sun to the horizon, the day when the sun rises, then the moment the Deneb Algedi will close to MC, very close. So I try to first, I think I keep like this and move it degree by degree. You can see slowly the sun is moved to the horizon, and you can also see then the Algedi is moved toward to the MC or its formating position. So in few minutes, you will see the sun appear on the horizon, and you will notice then the Algedi is on MC. In this case, in fixed star, we call it comating, right? So that means when her sun taking the important position either on the horizon or the comating area, no, so for the planet we can call it MC. And the fixed star is also on the angle. It's also either on the horizon or on the coronating area. So this is how we say Eva Peron has the sun. When sun rising, the Deneb Algedi is in the coronating area, and this bring the quality of this fixed star about structure, about maybe like Christians talking about the also the scapegoat
Yeah,
or
this conservative character.
yeah, into her son, her life force, her character, and how she feel the important in life. This is how usually we work with the fixed star in the parent style of delineation. Well, finally, I have to show a picture. I apologize, I haven't done many picture at this moment, but I want to show you an interesting picture. This is what I done for last year. I went to Tenerife. I love this place so much, especially on the Mount Tate, and this is the Mount Tate. And what interesting last year is I have challenged you where you can find Capricorn. As I say, they are near the Milky Way. So here is Milky Way. Here's the Milky Way. And you can see the two bright stars here. Yes, this is Capricorn area. This is Capricorn's horn. This is Algedi, and then Capricorn's body. And then here's tail. Which star is the Deneb Algedi is here? This one, this little one is Deneb Algedi. When you see it's still quite bright. But just because it next to another bright star, so we say, oh, it's quite dim. This star, don't get it wrong, is a planet. This is Jupiter. And then this is Saturn. So you can compare them. Okay, this was last year's planetary position. Okay, this was planet position. Now, as I said tonight, the Saturn already moved to this area. Saturn already moved this another where I point near the Jupiter, the last year's area, and Jupiter now is probably like here. Okay, so this is I love Milky Way. I can never have enough Milky Way in my life.
Great,
So
great pick. Thank you, Rod.
thank you, Christian. It's always nice to share my craziness of the star with you, and also listen what you say about the mythology and the story behind the star. That's always amazing. Well, thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's talk about big star. Today we talk about Deneb Algedi with the Capricorn, and then next month we will bring some surprising star. We haven't decided yet. We probably will talk about it later. But we will definitely going to bring some interesting story to you. So if you like our video, please like and subscribe it, and let us know what do you think about big star. Do you have any planet related to Deneb Algedi, either in the parent or you have a planet aligned with it? Okay, and let us know. Okay, then we will maybe talk about it. And so thank you very much and stay in tune. Bye bye.
Bye bye.